When I was in seminary, I had a friend from Newfoundland, Canada, and he went on and on how during Lent, Fridays during Lent, his mother made him seal flipper soup. And now I know what you're thinking. But what I thought was, hey, wait a minute, seal is a mammal. How can you say that you eat that on the Lents of Friday? And he said, well, it came out of the ocean, so therefore we should be able to eat it. And I thought, okay, so now I have to come up with a rule that any mammal coming out of the sea shouldn't be eaten, only fish. And so then I thought, okay, well, I'll let you know what I'm going to have for the Fridays of Lent. I'll have lobster and crab and, Chilean sea bass, all these things that are super duper expensive. And now you'll say, well, Father, that's not exactly the spirit of Lent as you're having all this. Okay, then I'll write another rule saying that the fish that you eat should be within a certain price range. Or even if you don't like fish and you go vegan, well, then I could just run over to Cruda's, and I'm sure there would be a lot of good things there too. So I'm going to have to write a law about that too. What I'm getting at is that if I don't really want to do penance, if I really don't want to engage in the Lenten journey, I can either reject it straight out, or I can think of a million and one ways to get around it. There's no rule that can stop me from subverting what Lent is meaning to do. And the same is true for all the rules, all the commandments. You know, the Jews had 613 commandments, and yet they can't apply to everything. Take, for the example, the first commandment, thou shalt not kill. Well, let's say I shoot or stab you and you don't die, so did I not break that commandment? Maybe if I hit you with a closed or open fist, does that count? Maybe we'll even go a little further and say, well, how about harsh words? What if I said, you fool? Does that count? All these things are getting back to our heart. Getting back to, instead of saying there's a rule there and you have to follow it, to follow your heart. And that's what discipleship is all about. In the second example, he talks about adultery. And we all know what act is that. But then what more could you do? Maybe a stray eye, maybe a thought that's playing through my mind, maybe spending too much time with another person who's not my wife. All these can be adultery as well. And then finally, do not take a false oath. And I could swear to you by Jerusalem. I could swear to you by God. I could swear to you by me mudda's grave, if I'm Irish. But in the end, then it gets back to more the legalism. Jesus says, let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. Anything more is from the evil one, because I don't have to do more than just say yes or no. And that's the question that we have placed before us in the first reading from Sirach, saying that the choices placed before us each and every day, whether to choose good or evil. And the point of getting to the heart of the matter is that, sure, I can murder you only once, I can kill you once, but in my mind, I can murder you 1,000 times a day in a variety of ways. Once I go back into my heart, then the bets are off. Then each and every moment of the day, I'm choosing death. Or the adultery. I can there's only so much adultery I could do. But in my mind, I could do it all the time. Choosing death all the way along. Or even in the journey of Lent, of saying, how can I get around it, rather than how can I embrace this Lenten journey? For all of us, Jesus is inviting us to come and follow him. To just follow the law is constrictive, and it doesn't change our hearts, because we can either reject it or find 1,000,001 ways to get around it. Jesus is inviting us, as we are about to enter into this Lenten journey, for a change of heart, so that we go above and beyond the law and follow Jesus Christ the way he would like us to follow him.